da dari machera na tusiki nalu tusiki kolle de seshi dodiji mashui hema tambara de gehab ki choso sunne jindi bigi machena menjong gehab dinalu jenami kutin da lamda kembo tiku delen gishi karalu denga ki tambara jembali suyi sishunila dida dedi delen dari ngaji na karna tsigi kole nalo seshi dordichi benigi kokabname di bel dambara ngachera shung tasantewa delen beltu shibje tebi tsojin tashu karma uragi tsibi chalan name yonglu katin che sishunila.
So before I stand here to present the role of astrology in Vajrayana Buddhism, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my warm greetings to the tulkus, lamas, khenpos who have assembled here to attend this conference, and all the distinguished participants who have come all over the world. So first of all, with this, I would like to extend Zampa Lexo. And then second one, I appreciate and I'm very thankful for giving me this opportunity to present this paper in this conference to the Central Monastic Body and the President of the Center for Bhutan Studies and GNH Research, His Most Honorable Dr. Karma Ura.
Gangi tutsi nye zonne dawa tangche panse pa dampe chine tangse ma kwa damde la cha tse lo da she chabar jibi ki meto tingi sune da dari inga ki na she zom dina lo jama topar jenami gya khab ki cho so so ne kutin khenwa yong ki chenlam du zeba da nindu babashi mesaji ro yang rare namba sangi bi lugi karna ji ki jonsel dang dele tenzi ki kordang delen rezei jungkhung ngikolle temagi nalema raksamchi shuge sishunila.
Although I have nothing to offer that is impressive or worth listening to the highly learned participants who are gathered here in this conference, yet I shall attempt to provide an overview of the Buddhist astrology under the following sections: the origination of stellar and elemental astrology, Buddhist chronology, the alignment of planets and stars.
The tilu karti dan nakti ni yeba yibi naselle dambaranga jara karti yekole shuwajin sangye masombi ngendu chirulbe tangsong ngabong dang karga laso be temba delen chi zakar sam tanegi laso bati so ngen gone yebe shunila.
First I will present the stellar astrology, and before the stellar astrology was taught, which is actually based on the external stars and planets, actually predates the Buddha's teaching on astrology. It was actually taught by Hindu ascetics like Rishi Ngabong and Garga.
Dari ajara namba sangi bilogi da karti jungsigi kole jungsi chinala ma shuwachin ngin sangi namge yongso tangwi rangre dingi nyingma nga du kyo dilwar kawa towa ridu ki semchen nam da girzibi nyame tubi wangbo chogi tangpo jansho chodo tuuke bardo keba dami sumdo chogosa tara doji dingi bola nyambar zoba sangi siltente chehor rimba sumdo korwi katama nyeba dingi chehoro she ranglu tembe de lo sumdong laksamgi ngindu jang shamballei gebo chijil dawa zampis sewa tabi ngolo jakar lochu beldin debonsu temba zobe sangi ki chinang shensumdang jarwi sanga lami ki dikhordi nebe sumna no sishunila.
I will provide a summary of the origin of the Buddhist astrology. that is actually based on stars and planets. The world of ours, which was formerly deserted by the past Buddhas, as its inhabitants were extremely difficult to tame as they were being overwhelmed by the escalating 5 degenerates. Yet the matchless Buddha, Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, came to our rescue, and he began his manifestation by firstly generating the resolution to obtain Buddhahood. In the middle of his journey to Buddhahood, he accumulated merits and wisdom for 3 countless eons. And finally, he obtained Buddhahood at Vajrayāna, Bodhgaya. He then revealed his achievement in the form of 3 Dharma wheels. During the 3rd turning of the Dharma wheel, which is known as the Dharma wheel of the definitive meaning, according to my tradition, over 3,000 years of the Buddha Shakyamuni era, at Palden Depung in southern India, at the request of the Dharma king Zampa of Shambhala, the north, the Buddha taught the unsurpassable secret mantra teachings of the Kalachakra Tantra in the 3 labels of outer, inner, and the other. This astrology of ours originates from this.
다 땡상 라렌남 자카르타기 비니틴디니 7일 도베 거치시 디코르 컴기 공바이메스 슈닐라 다 대다버도 다 야레마 체질 다와상보기 짜기 탐지 디신 데바세바당 델렌 리딘 자면 잡아서기 짜기기 공된남 직도 디심레 디지 라소바디 소네베 세나노스 슈니 델렌 디세 리딘 뺨마거보기 데바지 델렌 치벨라 소바네베 세나노스 슈니 델렌 로당 니동 학sam기린 장 샴발리 신도 다르기기 다르기수 데 디후르 야 장 샴발로 네베다디 슈노스 슈니 델렌 야 자가르레 베심레 자가르기빈 롭질로바게 라르 자가르도 덴딘 슈심네 다루야 록데 나라종 당부기 메일롬 줄로 직동 잠메 니슈 짜딩게 롤로 데 비기 로자와 시리바타 보데당 데 기조 다웨베서 라소바기 비기 로자와 녀가 소소기 비도 주심레 데 비도 데 네베 다노 슈닐라.
The study of the stars and planets that provides us to understand the outer universe is taught in the Kalachakra Tantra's chapter of elements. Following the revelation of this Tantra, the Dharma king Zampa collected the root Tantras and wrote commentaries as well. Then the Shambhala king Rigden Jamyang Drapa encapsulated the entire intended meanings of the root Tantra, called as the condensed Tantra. Jamyang Drapa's son, Pema Karpo, who also was the Shambhala king, wrote commentary to his father's writing. In this way, through a process of exegesis and distribution, Kalachakra Tantra flourished in Shambhala for over 2,000 years. After this, the Indian Pandit Chilupa transported the teachings back to India. Following this, the fire rabbit year of the first Rabjung cycle, or in the year of 1027 AD, Shiribhadra, Bodhi, Gijo Daweweser, and other Tibetan scholars rendered the Tantra into Tibetan and spread in Tibet.
다 거치기 콜레 도디지 데넴지비 슈사이세 슈닐라 다 날레마 다 니바 같이 슈니모서 같이 낙지섬 중지기 콜레 슈와진 템바 좀된데 꾸냥엘레 데네 멜로 시지 데비 로당 숨동기 년도 남로 심보지로 다주지비 체정하라 자나르오 정어라 구충실 땐심레 슈텔렌장 라소보 콘남기 세와 더비 몰로 중지기 기디남 samgi michaba nebi sundi du seshuni delen be ganjingi jongso chejir songze gomba la sobagi te bilu dargi su nebi juno seshuni la.
Now I will present the second one, the elemental, or call this black astrology. As for the second one, which is known as elemental or black astrology, 41 years after the Lord Buddha passed away, that is over 3,000 years ago, the Buddha manifested spontaneously in the summit of the five-peaked mountain in China on the 15th day of the Orion, the 11th month, as requested by his entourage like Zhutul, Lenchang and others. The Buddha, who has now manifested in the form of Manjushri, revealed unthinkable numbers of tantras and on elemental astrology. Then this was brought to Tibet during the times of the Dharma king like Songtsen Gampo and others.
The Yelama Bishimle Tangachin na Minjung Gekap Dinaluya, the Namle na Dadomo Sawashin, the Diang Rabjung, Jubigi Meelom, Chilo Chikton, Sumja Nisho Zadin, na Being Arabi Keba, Yungdin Dojipewa, Chodang, Yungdin Dojipewa, to Padulo Pishimle, the Namton Karpe Zonta Batang, Didelu, the Beldigi Kologi, the Chigi Sunibisono Seshunila, the Len Dutokarna Chiki Tomat, Ude Tomat Nele Inoseshuni, the Lara Daroya, Milo Nija, Hipchishegi Kijiso, King Pema Karbo Chogi, Rabjung Chubi, Shinhalom, Chilo Chitong Abja, Tinju Dengagi Lor, Mar Jagarki Pendonamki Kombadang, the Being Arabi Kebanamki, Chashi Nyamba Mebadi, Time Seshunila, Daroya, King Pema Karbo Chogi, Nyamba Sochigi Dendolu, Deva. Naso Leshachi Zenano Seshuni, Telen Rabjung, Chubigi Mihilom, Chilo Chitong Abja, Gipcho Chadu Lor, Kingin Duba Rumboshi Chogi, Nilop, Keto Hawalo de Kijang, Zishi Tindi, Timungi, Zawala Soba de Sonebe, Zenano Seshuni, Labar, Majera, Lojung Kyugu Senamki, Tagildu, Tuchin Lami Kagontar, Rangu, Rabjung Chubi, Jakja Lom, Chilo Chitong Duja, Nishu Sachi Lor, Keto Hawalo de Chogi, Bini Densa, Dugi, Densa, Jari, Denton Shushimle, Tamji Kemba, Pema Karbo, Choni, Gibigi, the Wanglong, Tiso, Chekornam, Minyam, Kinber Zeshilu, Jondir, Denshudo Pepe, Katinle, the Gedin Namja, Dambigi Chi, the Nebisuna no Seshugela.
Now, if I mention a little bit about how the astrology has come to Bhutan. When Buddhism was introduced to Bhutan in about 3rd or 4th Rabjung cycle, it also saw some isolated practices of the elemental astrology for the first time in Bhutan. However, the authentic establishment of elemental astrology in Bhutan occurred during the 5-rabbit year of the 6th Rabjung cycle, or in the year of 1327 AD, when early school scholar of Tibet, Yungten Dorje Pelwa, came to Paro, constructed the Namtong Karpe Dzong, and administered the Kalachakra Tantra and other teachings to his students. It was during this time that the Bhutan's reliance on stellar and elemental astrology started. In the second phase, some 248 years later, Kunken Pema Karpo wrote commentary to the Kalachakra Tantra called as the Treasury of Secret Explanation in the woodpeck year of 10th Rabjung cycle, or in the year of 1575. He wrote this commentary to keep the intended meanings of the Indian Panditas and adepts and that of the early school scholars uncorrupted, and for the purpose of reviving the declining practices. Likewise, in the fire dog year of the 10th Rabjung cycle, or in the year 1586, Kunken Drupa Rinpoche's student, Kedrup Hlawang Lode, wrote the astrological root text called as the Common Calculations of Base and the Time, Zishi Zawa Dindin Tunmo. Moreover, in the following, Jabdung Ngawang Namgyal's recommendation, upon Jabdung Ngawang Namgyal's recommendation and his intention, Kedrup Hlawang Lode was invited to Chakri Monastery in the Iron Bird year of the 10th Rabjung, or in the year 1621. The main purpose of the invitation was to receive the empowerment, transmissions, and instructions that were passed on by the omniscient Pema Karpo, and to ensure that these lineages were spread in Bhutan and preserved beyond declination. The monastic community who were fortunately present during Hlawang's visit received many teachings.
다 날레마 다 레샤 마파 슈니디 레샤지 인디 베서 주레 nga체라 다 디시게 몰람벌레 텐심레 다 탕탕사라마 ngacha 양 나 텐지기 콜레 텐날마 도르디치 슈게스 슈닐라 다 지르nga체라 텐질루 데 이워진 개발하나 수수기 시설 미터와 데 장가 추실 학점지 예시 슈니 다도 급수 바바 땡아자 랑로터도 다 긴긴 뺨마 거보기 셰바 나치니 예비 나셀레 데다 긴긴 코라기 닐로 개도 상황로 되게 도시 심모 시베 나위 셰바 치마디메라 메카 잠소 로잡수 데 기기 베딩인도 중심래 로 자다 기브주 닌 가공접심래 다도 메틀기 로인칠로 텐초 냐메 텐초 냥엘레 데네 밀로 숨동 잠에 텐초 텐숨 데비기 텐시디 자카르디수 가라 말레 록심나 야카도 데 로자다 기브주 네베 남달루 디콜 숨비기 쳔모로 자신이 실당 데렌 템바 상기비 디솔로 자진 중셀 데마세 돈바 잠소기 기날레 상기기 가디비 순노스 와진 아니 냥인 디오도 로니니토 렘바나 틸리파시 자와 중셰 숨비기 상기 냥엘레 데시메 로니토 렘바다 텔로바 제미 제니기 롱텐 숨미기 쿵디소 가라 디나루 디심레 땡아체라 셰바 텐지 셰바 심마디 데 캬바르 박스 니비 예스 슈닐라.
So because of the time, I have to now almost wrap up. And now before that, His Venerable said he would like to present regarding the Buddhist chronology. And I even personally, as I did the translation, found this very interesting. And the reckoning of the Buddha's Buddhist life and teachings, the chronicles, are actually quite there are many versions. At least Plawang Lode said there are at least 14 of them, 14 different versions. So we have 14 different birthdays of the Buddha. And again, in the second, regarding the reckoning of the chronicles of Buddha's life and teachings, there are as many as 14 versions. In our tradition, we follow the Kunkhep Pema Karpo's second version, which is endorsed after his student Keru Plawang Lode sought an exhaustive consultation. So here, if I seize this moment to give some little highlight, how I saw this is very interesting is actually when the Shambhala kings, the 10th and the 11th Shambhala king ruled the kingdom of Shambhala. Till that time, up to the 9th Shambhala king, there was no problem. And the application of the astrological calculations given by this that came up from the Kalachakra was very, very intact and not at all declined. But it happened that the astrologers actually use a quote language here called as fire, space, ocean. Fire, space, ocean years, they call it. And this is actually 403 years. Fire is 4, space is 0, ocean is 3. So it becomes 403 years. So within a period of 403 years was actually the reign of these two kings, the 10th Rigden and the 11th Rigden kings. So of course it is extraordinarily very long years, but then it is mentioned in the Tantras and in the teaching sources that they ruled this kingdom for 403 years. And during that time, there was some kind of a setback in the calculation of the Tantra, the calculation of the astrology, in a way that non-Buddhist practitioners, they started incorporating the Kalachakra as teachings. Kalachakra's teachings was primarily aimed at taming the sentient beings and delivering the sentient beings or the practitioners to reality, to realization. But then these other factions who could understand the Kalachakra's codification of the astrology, they would misuse it. And then they started misusing it to the extent that some of the subjects started losing faith in the Kalachakra tradition. So these two smart kings actually started to do something to hide some years in between. So they actually dropped some 180 years, and they did not tell anyone. So if Buddha's, like by Theravadan reckoning, it is 2,559 years. So he actually intentionally took up 180 years and told minus this one. So that is the Buddha's era. So the astrologers need to know the exact timing, exact planetary positioning to do the exact calculations, whether that planetary influence will be good or positive or whatever. So if you give a wrong information to those people who misuse it, so they will not get a good calculation, and they will never misuse the Tantra values. For that purpose, these wonderful, far-sighted kings actually, intentionally minus 180 years. So once now at this time, and then they were so far-sighted, probably they knew there some several hundred years later, there will be someone called as Thaung Lode, and he will know that. So Thaung Lode was actually very, very skeptical in the calculations. Particularly the Tantra of the Kalachakra, when it was taught by the Buddha, mentions about the planetary positions. So, and then these planetary positionings, it is very much clearly specified in the Tantras, and it occurs only once. So this Thaung Lode, he did a back dating. He just tried to do the calculation of the planetary positionings, year after year, like 60 years, another 60 years, like it ended up being 180 years. And what is described, the planetary positioning of the Kalachakra Tantra's revelation. So it only then came out. Oh, this is the reason. We now got it. So that is why today we have an accurate calculation, thanks to Thaung Lode's smartness. And even Kunken Pemakarpo earlier, he actually taught two versions. Early versions, when he followed the regular pattern of calculations adopted by the Tibetans. That come of it's a long story. So then Thaung Lode, because of his smartness. So what kind of a tool he used to do that is actually, I'm getting to be this. I'm very sorry now. Why I wanted to do is actually this Venerable has given me this much wisdom, and it is a very finely written article. So I felt very, very dear. It is too dear to not to let our audience here. So these are the actually kind of go ahead, one more. Yeah, that is the kind of a board, calculator. This is the calculator. Calculator, Thaung Lode used it, and then he discovered the shortcoming of the years in the calculation. So this is what actually I wanted to say. And I think this is kind of a, copyright, to how to protect intellectual rights. You should do this kind of a codification. So these are the, we have basically 8 planets and the 28 constellations. They all assume the form of a human being. So you can actually see these clips.
Mapa nalama shuni di kalashachira yese shuni la zai kore shuni ye delen karma gi kore lashachi shuni yese shuni tani bodalu tadari nanalo disigi malamale tinshimle tangagi nalama tordichi te karma chi kokablenge se shuni la ta pel digi kolegi konden di chiril tobe karsi di jagarale ya belu dendenshu te bele beshimle ngachi tuge habna lu nebishi darno shunila anibodalu chilu chikton yameni shu tsadin le kosushimle dari niton chudu chenchen lo kubja gebjo jagyobarlu nyami te nyamba mebabe nebi nedi dino shunila da chiri tanga anizum tenga chera te nyamba meba nebi nedi 대구미디에 가디비 임모세와진 지릉아체라 인진 자비기 펜룹당 로자와 나라키 캬바당 델렌 캬바르 킹게 뺨마가고 기록을 항원론에 개원 상기도지 속이 꺼진 이 시슈닐라 기수 마제라 짬경 공마 초당 잡지 튜토린전 가상 다상 꺼진 진기 두개 멜람당 디시 너림 델렌 묘아 엽세 속이 묘아 엽세 림진 속이 꺼진당 델렌 슝샵기 구딘 이 시슈닐라 다또다 인달레마 공로 슈미디소 데 노르와단 튜와레 데 미주 미시시 슈니 데보 텔로텐심데 다 나루 개원 가라루 데 나기 노르와다 튜와 총심이디소 가라 데 개원 용기 세와 신나고 슈니라 가dim집에 데 딜루틴비기 데 개바다 편바리 지바진 데 죽지디 공도 베위기 멜람 답난고 슈니라 그든지
Now the concluding remarks. Today it is actually 989 years since Kalachakra was brought to Tibet, yet it is still intact and thriving. Thanks to the former Pandits, adepts and scholars. In particular, we owe a lot to the Kunken Pema Karpo, Ketup Kawang Lote and Kyawang Sangye Dorje. Especially we are indebted to the successive J Kempos of the central monastic body for their protective prayers and support successive deities and the revered their majesties, the king and the royal family. Together with this, with the students and alumni of Druk Photang Ding, offer our promise to the Tsawasum to carry on the good works to spread and sustain our Buddhist astrology and to serve the government, central monastic body and our people in the base in particular. It is impossible that I made no mistakes in my talks. I'm very regretful of my shortcoming. Please forgive me. If, however, I might have said something useful, please pray for me that the Buddhist astrology will flourish more and more. Thank you, Tashidele.